2024 was a terrible year for coasters. Many coasters were delayed, closed, and even some of the ones that did open didn't even get great reviews. But there were still loads that opened, so today I will be counting down the 50 best. This video is way too late, but we've got lots to cover, so let's go. Number 50, we have Fly of the Wicked Witch at Warner Brothers Movie World in Australia. This is a Vekoma family suspended coaster, and yeah, it looks like a great family coaster. Next is one of two coasters that went to Europa Park last year. This replaced the previous Alpine Express Enzian, which was damaged in a fire in 2023. Next is a Soket family coaster called La Mamba. This was previously Montaña Rusa at Carting Cross, but was relocated to Hacienda Napoles. I think that's how you say it, I don't know. Next is a coaster that I know literally nothing about, so let's move on to the next one. Next we have 13 Alpine coasters in a row. First one being at Reta Park in Turkey. Next is another Alpine coaster called Othal Coaster at Leibniz Region am Fichtelberg. In 44 we have another Alpine coaster, but this one's in the UK. Number 43 we have ZZ Alpine Coaster at Bob Oxygen Resort. Next we have Naturbahn at Kienberg Park in Germany. Alright, next we have oh no.
Zjeżdżalnia grawitacyjna.
Zjeżdżalnia grawitacyjna. Number 40, we have Sunrise Apache Alpine Coaster at Sunrise Park Resort. Next is Luge Saw Rails at Luge Dietco de la Schlucht. In number 38, we have Megatreno at Terra dos Dinos in Brazil. Next is Wild Rider in Canada. And we have another one in Australia. And next is Super Coaster in France. And finally we have the last Alpine coaster, and this one actually looks really good as it's really well themed and is dueling as well. Next we have the first extreme coaster on this list at Morocco. This is a boomerang, but not actually by Vekoma, it's by this manufacturer. Next is another coaster that I know nothing about apart from the fact that it has two inversions. Alright, next we have one of the weirdest names I've ever seen. We have Bravely Traversing Treasure Island, and the spelling mistake in the name is not an error, there's literally how it's spelt for some reason. Next we have another boomerang. This one is called Antimatter Move in China. Next we have Zumba, which is an Interpark Whirlwind, which is one of these things. Yeah. Next we have Ziegelblitz, which I had never seen prior to making this video, but this ride looks great. This ride has really good theming and it has a fun looking layout. Next we have Fire in the Hole at Silver Dollar City. This is half coaster, half dark ride, and replaced the original Fire in the Hole. Next we have the only Mack water coaster on this list. This is Fjord Explorer at La Pau in France, and it actually looks to be one of the best water coasters I've seen. Next is a Mauer spinning coaster called Spinning Coaster. This was relocated from Haptorland in Lebanon, where it was called Twister. Next we have another spinning coaster, and this one's by Jinmer, and this actually features an inversion. Next we have a Vekoma mine train called Choco Chip Creek at Energylandia. This is a really long ride with 3 lift hills, adding a great coaster to their lineup because Energylandia didn't already have enough family coasters. Next we have another Vekoma family coaster called Jungle Rush at Dreamworld in Australia. This is the first ever switchback coaster, or the world's first inclined triple switch roller coaster.
Of the world's first inclined triple switch roller coaster.
Next we have a really short but fun looking Gerstlauer Eurofighter in Denmark. Next we have the Wave at Drayton Manor. This was previously an Intamin stand-up coaster, but in 2024 was converted to a sit-down coaster, and I've heard it's much better now. Next is the first B&M family inverter coaster outside of China called Phoenix Rising. This ride looks to have a great layout and would probably be placed higher if it weren't for its B&M rattle. Still, it has a great entrance and is very unique to the park. Next we have Bobcat, a Gravity Group family wooden coaster at Six Flags Great Escape in America. This layout is very similar to Timber at Wallaby Roanoke and looks super fun. It has lots of airtime, laterals, and just overall looks like an incredibly fun ride. Next is Penguin Trek at SeaWorld Orlando. This is a B&M family coaster that mostly just consists of turns, but there are a couple of launches and a pre-lift dark ride section with some decent theming. Next is Gold Rush, which is such a unique coaster. It has 2 completely different ride experiences, one where you go down the lift hill normally and one where you drop backwards. Now, is this 2 credits? Next is Minecart Madness at Universal Studios Japan. This ride is super cool as it seemingly jumps the track at multiple points. It achieves this by using fake track to give the illusion that you're riding on that track. but in reality there's a second track underneath this that actually controls the train. This would be great if you couldn't see this track when on the ride. Next is the third and final coaster at Dinosaur DreamWorks on this list, called Lightning Coaster. This is a Zamperla Lightning, and these looks have great hang time and air time. I've heard complaints about these being rough, but they still look like great and fun rides. Next is Thunderbolt at Playland in Canada. This was previously an Intamin hydraulic launch coaster called Senza Fiato at Miragica. This was then relocated to Playland, where it had a rename, repaint, and most importantly, its problematic hydraulic launch was replaced with a more reliable LSM launch by Zamperla. But this isn't the only Zamperla transformation on this list. Next is another relocation. This was previously called Chimera but closed in 2019 after an accident. It was then relocated to Indiana Beach, where it would be called All American Triple Loop, and it opened with absolutely terrible reviews. Many people criticizing its roughness and restraints, some even said it was the worst in the country. So why is it this high? Well, luckily the park listened and got new restraints with lap bars, and the ride experience is much better now. Next is Flying Dragon at Changchun Movie Wonderland in China. This is a Jinma suspended coaster, and it looks like a decent layout. The newer Jinma coasters do look quite good, but I haven't been able to find any reviews on this. But if it is smooth, then this looks like a great ride. Next is Fighter Jet, which is one of 4 Vekoma Top Guns in the world. These look like really great layouts with lots of airtime, inversions, and a great looking launch. There were also 2 more of these that were supposed to open in 2024, but didn't end up opening. And wait, apparently there was a Mack Hyper supposed to open in China. Next is the Jinma Vertical Coaster at Wuxi Cultural Square. This is basically a Chinese ripoff of a B&M dive coaster, but it actually looks quite good. There's a great drop, nice inversions, a big splashdown. It's nothing mind-blowing, these are really popular with the GP and are really fun, enjoyable rides. Next is a normal B&M dive coaster called Iron Menace at Dorney Park in the United States. This ride opened to very mixed reviews. It's probably the worst dive coaster, well, out of the ones that actually have a layout, and this is because of its roughness. I don't know how a B&M could be rough, especially a new one, but it's still a dive coaster, so it still deserves to be this high. Next is the only GCI on this list, called Hala Madrid. This is a great looking twister layout with lots of airtime and laterals. This was hard to place since there are little to no reviews on this, but it still looks really fun, so I'll place it here. Next is the highest ranked inverted coaster on this list. Vienna Force has an incredible layout and flows through it really well. It has lots of airtime as well, which is really rare on an inverted coaster. I really hope we see more of these, as this looks like such a great ride. Now we are in the top 5, and in number 5 we have Skull and Hattie. This is probably the best clone model in the world. If you didn't know, this is a clone of Railblazer, Wonder Woman, Stunt Pilot and Fire Runner, which is new for this year. These rides have almost everything you can want in a coaster. Airtime, fast pacing, it's smooth, cheap, compact. These rides look so cool, but not the highest placed single rail coaster on this list, as in number 4 we have Mahuka. This is not only the highest ranked single rail coaster on this list, but it might even be the best in the world. This ride looks insanely good with an extremely fast paced layout, 2 launches and lots of great airtime. It's definitely an improvement on Big Dipper and gives the park a headline attraction. Next we have the disaster of Top Thrill 2. Top Thrill Dragster was an Intamin hydraulic launch strata coaster that opened in 2003 as the world's tallest and fastest roller coaster. However, its problematic hydraulic launch and an accident caused the ride to shut down. Much like Thunderbolt, Zamperla replaced the hydraulic launch system with LSMs and also added another 420-foot spike. It opened in 2024 with amazing reviews. However, this 100+ mph coaster closed after only 1 week of operation. Never seen anything like this before. Luckily this is reopening this year, let's just hope it's open for more than a week. Anyway, about the actual ride experience, it looks incredible. Going 120 mph forwards and backwards up 420 feet looks amazing, and I really hope this reopens successfully. Number 2 we have Hyperia, the only coaster on this list that I've actually ridden, and it is my number 1. This Mack Hyper coaster is by far the best in the UK due to its extremely unique and weird elements. For example, you have this thing, which gives ridiculous airtime going into the barrel roll, then gives insane hang time in the barrel roll. This ride is so cool, and I wish I could put it in number 1, but generally most people say that Voltron is the best coaster of 2024. Voltron looks like a near perfect coaster. It has amazing airtime, insane hang time, an extremely long ride experience, incredible theming, 4 launches, a backwards section, and a surprise before it even starts. I also forgot to mention that one of its launches goes beyond vertical, the only one in the world that does this. This is now regarded as one of the greatest coasters ever, and I can definitely see why. So there we go, I have finally finished this video. This took way too long. I was going to release this near the beginning of the year, but due to exams it's out at the end of March. Also, don't expect any more videos in the next couple of months as I have even more exams, but I will be able to upload lots during the summer, so expect more videos like these and other videos that require less editing because editing sucks. Anyway, I'm going to stop yapping and end the video right now.